Working to restore an ecosystem to its original state so that native plant and wildlife species can again thrive is no easy feat. But the Washington Army National Guard Natural Resource Conservation Team sets that standard every day. The Camp Murray installation is not only home to more than 8,000 soldiers and civilian personnel, it is once again home to the kokanee salmon, which for the first time in many years was able to make its ancient run up Murray Creek.
It was actually during the period of time when the creek ran completely bone dry. And we knew that we had a couple of problems on the Fort Lewis side of the creek, and that involved beaver dams. And the dams would get built up and plug up the creek, and it would just run dry. And the other problem was that the hospital was drawing groundwater as part of their air conditioning system. And so I felt a little silly, but it was at the height of the war, and JBLM had units that were deploying rapidly. We had the 81st Brigade that was deploying, and we were very busy. But I was actually on the phone with the acting Corps commander at the time, saying, "Hey, General Mathis, can you help us out here? You've got some beavers we need to get taken care of because the creek is dried up." And we kind of chuckled a little bit about that in the scheme of things, but we realized it really was an important thing to do. And so fortunately General Mathis did involve his environmental staff, and they took a look at both of those issues, the beaver dam and getting water out of the ground. And that was really kind of the beginning of getting a lot of cooperation going between JBLM and Camp Murray in restoring the creek.
Their outstanding creek restoration project and other exceptional conservation efforts has earned the Washington Army National Guard the 2011 Natural Resource Conservation Small Installation National Guard Bureau Environmental Security Award. Washington has made great strides over the past 2 years implementing its integrated natural resource management plan. More than a mile of Murray Creek has been the target of extensive efforts to restore creek flow, enhance riparian vegetation, and create a functional kokanee fishery.
Very exciting. Actually, it has gained a lot of attention from Camp Murray staff and personnel whenever they hear news about, oh, you're trapping salmon again, we'll be coming to witness it. So everybody's just excited about it.
Their multi-phase approach involved the removal of beaver dams and barrier vegetation, along with weed and debris removal. Fish support structure maintenance helped to remove sediment and other debris from the fish breeding vault and spawning structures.
I would say that it was kind of a rude awakening. I come out of the operations world, and of course we don't think about things like Murray Creeks. Well, now I come down here and it's like, well, we need to put a building right here, then we need to get this. And they said, well, I think maybe we need to rethink that. And let me tell you why. And they're great about and this is why. Part of what the environmental staff do is they teach people like me that are operators, they teach people that are commanders, they teach people that are senior people that it isn't just no, you can't do it. It's no, you can't do it, and this is why. Does it affect the way we do business? Absolutely. Is it good? Absolutely.
Multi-stakeholder collaboration is also key to the Washington Army National Guard's success. Their coordination with the neighboring hospital led to alternatives other than the shallow groundwater extraction for the hospital's geothermal heating and cooling system.
Anytime you're working on a stream system, you really need to have, all the landowners working together, because what goes on here upstream will affect them downstream. So, we've done a lot of work to spraying reed canary grass, because if you don't control that, the seeds are going to go floating down to their property. And so, you have to work together to really, enhance a stream and maintain the integrity of the stream.
Joint Base Lewis McChord, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and the Pierce County Conservation District are among the solid partnerships that help Camp Murray leverage resources and gain additional expertise to help find solutions.
Well, we were approached in 2004 to assist with some restoration efforts along Murray Creek here, and that was the first time that we got involved, and that involved planting some native species of trees and shrubs, and we started with that and did several projects. And then we've also helped with knotweed eradication, which is an aggressive non-native plant. We've worked to help the camp keep that from establishing itself along the stream. And we've also had some water quality monitors out here taking samples of Murray Creek.
We rounded up some volunteers and started in on almost a year-long effort to clean out the creek bed from a lot of invasive species, and the work with Camp Murray was to get the water flowing again, because it does start over on what is now a Joint Base Lewis-McChord. So there's that combination of efforts between the military organizations and then the local community and volunteer organizations like Trout Unlimited.
National Guard actually were instrumental in getting that flow a consistent annual flow. So that presented the opportunity. This fish has a 3-year life cycle. So we knew that if in that 3 years somehow the National Guard could make that happen, that we would be in time for the first returnees. And sure enough, they made it happen.
Washington is making a hard turn away from chemical to natural controls to eradicate invasive species and pest management. To guide management, a spatial database is used to model both native and invasive species. Over a 2-year period, more than 70 acres of previously weed-infested shoreline have been restored with native vegetation. The planting of native trees and shrub species also minimizes the need for watering and other maintenance that non-native species often require.
A big part of the problem in a lot of the developed areas is that we've changed the vegetation, and so there's a lot more opportunity for invasives to come in. Like so many places, in some part of the watershed, the interest is to have a nice mowed lawn down to the edge of the stream so that we can see it. And the natural system is really with a natural vegetation back quite a ways from the creek. And so it's been a bit of a cultural shift for our grounds department to some extent to support expanded natural plantings along the edges of the creek, reduce the amount of lawn we mow at the same time.
Surveys and wildlife management are the bread and butter in helping Washington's natural resource team to maintain Camp Murray for military training. Camp Murray recently initiated a forest plant community and wildlife features inventory that helps them develop wildlife and forest rehabilitation plans to meet specific management needs.
Natural resources surveys, habitat and wildlife management are very essential in preventing conflict during training, and also help achieve the agency's missions. Without knowledge on these sensitive areas and threatened and endangered species, the soldiers won't be able to minimize the damage on these areas during their training, which could lead to irreparable damage and, of course, the huge restoration costs associated with it.
The Natural Resources team helps everyone to get in the act of preserving Camp Murray. New employee orientations, staff training, and an extensive distribution of brochures, posters, signs, and maps, and a series of NRC events ensure that everyone is in the loop. Community engagement and partnerships are other key ingredients for the Washington Army National Guard's success. Washington Army National Guard soldiers have teamed up with school groups, the Stream Team, Trout Unlimited, and other volunteers working side by side during restoration planting and invasive weed removal efforts.
The partnership with the soldiers of the Washington Army National Guard and their environmental. I mean, we had an engineer unit that actually helped do some of the construction or renovation of Camp Murray Creek and clearing some of it out. And that's one of the things that we're proud of. I mean, anytime we get an opportunity to do something like that, that not only provides us training, but also gives us an opportunity to give back to the community.
They also teamed up with the Sierra Club's Water Sentinels, who provided fishing rods and reels to children of military families as part of a joint outreach effort to educate the participants on the importance of natural resource conservation. Interagency cooperative agreements further bind the community to Camp Murray and the National Guard mission. Together, military families and public visitors are able to enjoy camping, boating, fishing, hunting, and trail hiking.
The Veterans Administration at the Puget Sound Healthcare Authority facility at American Lake, which is on the opposite side of the lake here from Camp Murray. We're involved in a recreation program for the resident veterans that are there at the hospital. And during reasonably nice weather each week, we take them down to the dock they have on the lake for fishing. And on many occasions, they're able to catch some of the kokanee.
Sound natural resource conservation programs take leadership, and the Camp Murray team has full support coming straight from the top.
How do I get from point A to point B so that 20 years from now, I haven't done something this year that's going to affect us 20 years from now? How do I mitigate so that 20 years from now I've got a clean environment as opposed to doing something the same as we've always done, 20 years from now I'm stuck dealing with it?
This is really all about passing on a better environment to those who follow us. And I mean, quite frankly, most of the environmental projects we've done here over the last decade have been cleaning up the messes that have been left for us underground and underwater by the generations of soldiers who came before us. And so we really want to do a better job and ensure that we're passing on training areas and an environment that is in better shape than the one that we inherited. And it really gets to the finite nature of our resources. We just have to take care of it in order to have something to pass on.